Hi beautiful souls, welcome to a new video, and the theme that I'm going to discuss here is actually one that's been a thing for a lot of people that I've worked on a one-on-one. So I received a lot of questions around this topic. Although I also discussed this partly in my balancing course, and there I focus on, I mainly focus on, in one of these video lessons of the course, on what is happening actually in the life of the masculine and why it seems like there is a time delay in the 3D. And I think I will give this video the title something like why the DM doesn't shift in frequency in their behavior, whatever it is, while you as a feminine already did. And I was going to make this video just for the course, but I felt like I wanted to give this information for free for everyone who can resonate with this, with being in this phase of the awakening. Okay, so it's common for every divine feminine, although with every divine feminine that I've worked with, that when he or she shifts in frequency, and by that I mean you start to detach from the 3D realm, you start to detach from the 3D circumstances and your DM. You start to detach from the romantic outcome, the desiring, the missing, the longing, and so on. And you really start to focus back on yourself. Your thoughts aren't influencing you that much any longer, so it's easier to observe them. You become more and more aware of energy, of your own energy, of the shared energy with you and your other self. And so it feels like your frequency is rising, which it is rising. You really start to listen more to yourself, to your soul, and it's easier also to be aware of the difference between your ego and your soul. And the present moment becomes a very powerful tool for you to shift your energy, to alchemize certain emotions, doubts, obsessive, fear-based separation energy that might sometimes come back again, but it's good that it comes back, these triggers, or this obsessing, this longing, this separation, this suffering. It's there to alchemize and to free yourself from it, to no longer be the victimhood, and also no longer be the victimhood of the 3D circumstances around your other self. And that's like a summary of what may happen. And what I've heard, like these questions that I received a lot lately from you guys, is that, yeah, I shifted, but he doesn't or she doesn't shift. What else? There's such a big time delay. I'm like already feeling this union frequency more and more. I start to feel so good and peaceful, and it's easier to let go and surrender and trust more. And so, like the part what is happening in their 3D reality, that's what I just, like I said, I discussed this in my balancing course. But there is a reason why it seems like there is a massive time delay in 3D on how they behave, react or not react to your shifts. Why is that? every divine feminine that shifts in this frequency, their spiritual ego will also, I had this too, will also become very loud. And it will think, this is like the truth of this journey, and it is. It is what you start to feel, it is the truth. You start to understand this journey, you start to feel this journey instead of mentally understanding. But your spiritual ego also thinks, he or she will shift too now. They will immediately respond to my energy. Whatever it is that your spiritual ego claims and assumes around your shifts, it is not the truth. Because the truth is, this is just an initiation, like your shift that is happening. Everything that I just explained, what you are experiencing, it's just the beginning of a internal process of alchemizing layers and layers and layers of the subconscious programmed minds, and also your subconscious system in which you still operate from the past and lack and separation. But the timing is perfect. It seems like there's a time delay and you are frustrated by their behavior that still is very from a place of lower frequencies, but it's perfectly orchestrated. Their time delay is, it depends on your integration process of this remembrance, of this new way of living. I'd also like to call this the frequencies of the new human. You start to approach life much more from your heart, that you are opening towards everything, to receive more and to feel more connection within and with life that's also within. Actually, you start to listen more to the guidance of your soul. You can feel the difference between your like false small self and your higher self. And with small self and false self, I mean just this voice in your mind, your personality, this hard drive that functions on the past and the future. And so you start to remember again. These are codes of the new earth also, actually. Like the way you lived your life before, you can't go back to it. I know that everyone understands what I'm saying when you're on this awakening path. You can't. And when you try to go back, it hurts as hell. Or you get this painful mirrors in your 3D field of reality. So it's a remembrance. And for the ego, it's a completely new system, way of living to integrate now into your daily life. And like I just said, this comes in layers and layers and layers and layers. It's not that you feel like you are detached. You no longer care about the other person. That you really can apply this in the 3D field of reality. That's why they might come back, or other people will mirror this for you, will trigger you as well, or the third party will trigger you in certain areas. Why? To clear out everything that's still in your unconscious system around separation, to transform into the truth of what you are, into the truth of this awakening path, this endless awakening path. So yes, it may seem like there's a big time delay, but it's for a reason. And it's just the beginning for a lot of people, everyone who can relate to this group, in which the masculine will start to respond to your energy rather quickly. And by that I mean in a couple of months, in 6 months. Everyone's space is uniquely, differently and sacred. I forgot what I was going to say about that. I got distracted by the ringing of a church nearby. I'm currently in France, by the way. I turned back with the boat, and I will go to the mountains next couple of weeks. I'm also heading to the northern of Italy. Okay, I'm distracting myself. So when they come back, it's so easy for the ego minds and spiritual ego as well to be distracted by them and to think, this is it. They are responding to my energy. He or she is ready. But it's just the beginning. You will see that they will behave most of the times even worse. They will test your boundaries. They will disrespect you. And you can see our other self as a metaphor for how life in general will respond to your inner shifts. Just in general, to your energy, to your embodiments. And so it shows you, they will mirror you and test you in, will you react on the outside world? Will you still claim this as the ultimate truth? Although, okay, you've had some time apart to sit in silence, to change your frequency, to go through this amazing, beautiful inner process and shifting from separation consciousness into unity consciousness. But then it's time to apply this into the material realm. And sometimes a lot of people, including myself, are super naive and think, I will handle this perfectly because I feel so much better now. And they really will be there, or other people, to see if you can stay in your new frequency, if you can stay in your new alignments. Will you react? Will you respond to the outside world and get into the illusion of separation again? Into the illusion of letting something outside of you influencing how you feel, what your story is, what your truth is? Or will you stay in your truth and see this as an opportunity to remember that you are the one that can change everything? That you are the creator, the decision maker, the one. And that the outside world will respond to you. But it will also trigger subconscious things from your system as well. From the past that aren't reality any longer at the present moments. So we give our power away by responding to their behavior, for example. And this can be applied for everyone on this journey, no matter where you are in this awakening path, even though you still feel that you are in a lot of separation-based frequencies. And by that I mean being more in the mind and identifying with the mind. It functions the same. You imprison yourself by reacting on the outside world and letting your truth, your new embodiments, influence by something that is not even constant. Like the 3D realm isn't constant. It changes constantly. We all know this. But what doesn't change is what you are, is your consciousness, is your lights. It's always available. It's always there. And that's your power. That's your truth. That's your foundation, your home. And it is always safe to go back to this home and to choose differently, to no longer give your power away, your truth away by the illusion that something outside of you will influence the way you think, the way you behave, what your story is, what your truth is. I hope that this could empower you, remind you again on what this is truly about. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. As usual, you can find like the links to the one-on-one sessions you can book with me, my 2 courses, my audio bundle in the description of my video. And we're currently in June now, and the next month is July. Wow. The reason that I'm mentioning this is that I still have 1 or 2 spots available for souls that truly feel that they want to go all in with me and to change this awakening path for once and forever. I have an option to go in a monthly, not a monthly, but just for 1 month to go in mentorship with me. For more details, you can email me to Inner Union Coaching at gmail.com. I think that's all for today. Yeah, see you in the next. Bye-bye.